Hi, I want to tell y'all how I made $280 today and just update y'all my trading journey because a lot of things have changed. I've really been focused on trading and not posting content just to get focused on getting funded. And I had to get off TikTok because TikTok has been getting insane with the violations. Like I remember I took a loss, um, and someone was like L, and I was like, damn, fat L, and they like gave me a community violation. So my account is in like flagged for almost being banned on TikTok. So I just got off. I was gonna get off and like get back on in like 90 days once like all the bans and violations expire. And two, I just been focusing on a lot of things, but I just want to post on YouTube. And I know with YouTube, I kind of want to wait till I'm funded because I feel like I'm not getting a lot of views and people really don't really care until you're funded or whatever. But I do want to talk about some things. I had to start trading on Tradevate because I'm giving funded accounts one last shot. So it's the final time getting funded. I grouped all three of my accounts together and I'm trading them together. You can't group trade on TradingView. So I was really upset about that in the beginning. However, I am glad I did because when you enter here on Tradevate, there's no spread. Have you seen some of my videos? Like I'll manually enter a market here and they'll like fill me up here on TradingView, or you have to put a limit order on TradingView. But you can do a market order on fucking Tradevate and it will market beautifully, beautifully. I do think this will still run up kind of, but I charted this perfectly and I want to talk about it. I switched back to the 5 minute chart. So I wasn't posting on TikTok before or posting anywhere before I switched from the 5 minute to the 1 minute, but I started trading on the 5 minute. I went back to the 1 minute because I felt like I was missing entries or there was times where it wasn't giving me a setup that I wanted. But on the 1 minute, it was giving me a setup. Then I realized lately I've been getting faked out on the 1 minute. So I just trade now. I'm trying to go back to trading on the 5 minute because there are times where I've gotten like, let me see, what day was it? I got faked out here because on the 1 minute this was going down, but technically I was right. You took down, it hit a 1 hour fair value gap here. You went to 50% of it and then continue up. But we got market shift here to this liquidity point, and then this was in a bearish 1 hour for value gap. So if I had waited for the 5 minute setup, I wouldn't have took a loss because this trade, honestly, both these trades were not good trades because you wouldn't have got a 1 to 3 or 1 to anything. Like this one was like a 1 to 1. I wanted it to go, I wanted to fill the 5 minute gap, which I thought I could do if it went to the 1 hour, but this was resting in the 1 hour and it came in down. So I was technically right. But if I just would have waited for this, I would have just took this quick scalp to this buy side liquidity, or maybe if this is 50% of the fair value gap. So I did that. And then on the trades where I've learned things like this, where news happens and it runs down a little bit, I've gotten faked out on these so many times. The news runs down, and I think I got in a buy here and got stopped out. And then on the 1 minute, again, here we got stopped out. It was a good like fair value gap, almost displacement. But on the 5 minute, we got this beautiful market structure shift, fair value gap, and that one hit. Also, I've noticed on the 1 minute, like you're supposed to put like, say you get in a trade here, your stop loss is the previous swing low. On the 1 minute, it will like sometimes sweep this and then go your way. On the 5 minute, it usually respects higher highs, higher lows. So I feel like I just be patient. And again, if it doesn't give me a trade I want, I just don't trade it. Like I don't need to be in every market structure shift like I like to do. So I got back when I got on. There's no news today. When there's no news, you can trade right at 8:30. We got this market structure shift, fair value gap. I got it up here, waiting for it to bounce off of it, and then I just want to take it to this was the top of a 1 hour fair value gap. This was the liquidity point above that, but I don't have a feeling, and I'm glad I just took that. This to this, like I've always said when I trade, this is a for sure trade, but that was not a good. This could be a scalp though. Like I take scalps now sometimes, but this was only like $100 gain. I wanted at least that only made 280, but I'm trying to get to $500 a day because my losses seem to be bigger than my wins. Like today was not a big win, but I will take it because I guess I would risk a little less. This could still go up. However, on the 1 hour and the daily. I don't really use the daily, but I was looking at it because it's been so choppy. I wonder why it's been so choppy. Also, that's why that day I wasn't confident it was going to keep going higher because we were trading in a we're trading in a daily fair value gap that's for the market to keep going lower. That is why. That is why I'm not confident we're going to go too much higher, but I did want it to fill this 1 hour fair value gap. That's why I marked it. The next liquidity point is here. There is a fair value gap up here, so it could go all the way up here. Technically, we are back in an uptrend, but overall, we are still in a downtrend. So technically, this could be pulling back into this fair value gap or this fair value gap to keep going down, or it could just keep going up. It's one of those things where you don't really know. So I had a feeling it would fill that fair value gap and then keep going lower because that was a huge move. So this uptrend could just be balancing out this move. It could keep going higher, but for the overall, I still think we're going lower. And then when it was trading sideways, I just went and like, let me look at the daily. And the daily, see, we're trading in this fair value gap here. So that was the fill of the 1 hour one. So it could go and then just keep going down, which it looks like it wants to do. Next liquidity point on the daily is this one. So I'll check the daily sometimes. I don't do it all the time. I don't know what in my women's intuition told me to check the daily, but I'm glad I did. And listen, this is why I take my profit. I don't do multiple TPs because I'll take one and then, you hope it'll go to the other one. Like, yes, I'll leave money on the table, but sometimes you risk losing. And I'd rather take my gains than miss out. Like, whatever happens after my trade is above me. And boom, it filled that 1 hour fair value gap. And now it's going downtown in an earlier round. Did we get a market structure shift? Which I had a feeling it was going to do that yet. So now we're just waiting on, oops. We're just waiting now. Which I liked my trade, Glad to be done. I was done right like at 9, maybe what, 30? Yeah, right at 9:30, 9:35. I was done. And then yeah, now we're getting a market structure shift to the downside. So it'll be a nice setup to take to the downside. Take another trade. Yeah, I had a feeling it was just gonna fill that 1 hour and keep going lower, especially because we're in that daily fair value gap. We've traded in it for a little bit. Here are the liquidity points. And is there another fair value gap? We already tapped into this, but once we inverse that one, then we're going lower, lower, lower. But today's the day. I feel like it might trade sideways some more. But listen, price action is king. ICT helps you execute trades on price action because sometimes, there was a day where I was right. And I know like some people like I think I was trading with Tanya and that's when I had to be like, just trade by yourself. Just literally stop trading with people this day. So she was looking for a retracement. Like I said, most people do, most of the gurus do. They wait for the retracement and then play it to continue lower, which is fair. I play the retracements, and this is why I play them because this day I had my take profit, I think just like here, like the middle of this fair value gap, because I was playing a retracement. And it wound up running the rest of the day versus if you waited for the retracement to go lower, you never got an entry to go lower. So I like to play retracements because then you'll get the retracement and then you'll get the move that you're waiting for versus waiting for the move you're waiting for and it doesn't happen in my opinion. Because technically, yes, you're not supposed to trade every day. This is a day you don't trade or you just trade the afternoon. Because a lot of the gurus also trade both and they sit on the chart all day. I don't. So I like to find what I can do in my session only. And if it doesn't have, and I find setups that can happen because I just know price action. It's going to retrace. We all know it's going to retrace. Let's put the retracement, not wait for it. And another guy in her YouTube live was like, yeah, I'm waiting for a higher retracement before looking for sell. So once that happened, she took a sell here. After this retracement, she took a sell down. Her first TP was my entry and then obviously got stopped out, but this is why I always say play retracements. That's my strategy. I love playing them. I'm either done like this or I can get back into the market shift to the other side, or sometimes it just goes my way and just keeps going, and then you don't miss on a day. But I get it, some people just want to get that A+ setup. But I think if you get a good market structure shift like this, that is an A+ setup. This was still a 1 to, I think it was like a 1 to 2 for mine. Yeah, it was still a 1 to 2, 1 to 2.5, and then obviously if you wanted the 1 to 3, which no one really thought I was gonna do that. But hey, you know, you get it. And sometimes I've had times where my trade like this runs all day, or it just goes in reverses. That's why I don't really do multiple TPs. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I left so much money on the table, but I'm usually just like, no, because if I do multiple TPs and it reverses, it eats up my profits that I already had. And I don't like that at all. I rather just get a profit versus risking getting some and losing some. So yeah, that was my trade. I'm back on the 5-minute. Did we get that fair value gap? There it is. We got a candle close here, but not here. This is a good trade for sells. But what would your TP? I'm trying to go for 1 to 3. And sometimes like this, yeah, it's like, what's 1 to 3? Or even 1 to 2.5 or 1 to 2.6. We'll do 2.5. Let's see. Is there any liquidity points there? There's not. So this one, you probably will have to take it to here. And it most likely will go to there. Yeah. Or you can take it to here or here. But and it already tapped in this fair value gap, so you don't have to worry. Like if it was an empty one like this one, you could maybe expect a bounce from there or a profit target from there. But honestly, with this big displacement, I think it's a good trade to the downside. Do I want to play this? I don't know. Technically, the fair value gap on the 5-minute won't happen until this candle closes. You have 2 more minutes, this candle has to close, then it has to come back into this. I might leave this on the chart and see if it happens. But you know, I don't want to lose my gains because this is a bigger stop loss than my first trade. So this will make me negative if I lose this trade. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes, like I've said on my TikTok, the only thing about ICT that I don't like is your stop losses will never be the same. And this guy tried to argue me down, like, no, I know how to risk the same amount. But I'm like, no, you can get a good setup like this, a strong displacement, good market structure shift. Technically, this trade can play out above this swing high. It can do a lot in this swing high. You can't just do this because that's what you usually do. You have to let it play. Same with like mine here. I had to have my stop loss at this swing. No, I think I got in here and I had it at this swing low because it can do a lot into here before it goes my way. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. And so just you either have to like adjust your lot sizes every time, which I don't do. So some of my trades will make more. Like this one I just did was only 280 instead of 500. This one probably is risking 300 to make 500 or 280 to make 500. Only thing about ICT, but if it's a good setup, it's a good setup. So it's like you have to, that's why I switched to not showing the money I'm risking per trade and just shows like entry, stop loss, sell limit or buy limit. And then I don't get nervous because that's what was fucking me up in the past. I would literally see this and be like, this is a good trade. And then it would say you're risking 600 to make like, obviously like, you know, a good bit, like 2,000, but risking 600 would like throw me off, which I want to risk like 200 only. And, you know, I don't switch my lot sizes. Like I said, I just trade 5. Or at the time I was trading 1 or 2 of the minis, not the micros, and you just go with it, and then it usually plays out, and it's just nice. Some trades will be bigger, some trades will be smaller, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. If you do want to be that person, which is very good of you to switch your lot sizes and your contract sizes every time you trade, good for you. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so now we see the fair value gap is here. So I'm going to tap this back in. I feel like this is a small market structure shift. I would like it to close below this, but hey. But yeah, it was a good day. So I'll take it.